It begins not with fear, but with silence. Not with falling, but with floating. You drift gently through the interstellar medium, the thin, invisible ocean between the stars. No planets below, no moon above, just darkness, soft, endless, and utterly still. In the distance, like an ink spot spilled onto the stars, it waits. A black hole. A singularity of gravity so dense, so ancient, so complete, that even light itself cannot escape. It does not glow, it does not roar, it pulls. You are not alone in this space. Your ship, sleek, silent, purely theoretical, is designed for this, not to survive the black hole, but to witness it, to fall toward it, to feel the impossible stretch of space-time. It's massive, 10 times the mass of our sun, a stellar black hole, likely born in the final scream of a supernova long ago. The event horizon is vast, a sphere of no return where even time becomes strange. But from here, it's just a shadow, a circle that eats light. You do not rush, you glide. Every control on your ship is silent. Every system hums in perfect cooperation. This is not an escape, it's a surrender, a gift of experience to the universe, and maybe to the ones who will watch your recordings after you are gone. The journey begins slow, as most great journeys do. You pass the accretion disk, a swirl of dust, radiation, and debris from stars long devoured. It is light incarnate, burning, spiraling, screaming without sound. But your path is careful. It does not touch the disk. You descend, not into fire, but into shadow. You cross a threshold, not of distance, but of understanding. Time stretches. The closer you drift toward the black hole, the more the universe outside begins to change. Light from distant stars bends, smearing into arcs and whirls around the black hole's silhouette. Space itself warps like glass underwater. You are falling, but you cannot feel it. You are moving, but without motion. From the outside, observers, if there were any, would see you slow down, freeze even, at the edge of the event horizon. A ghost suspended at the doorway of eternity. But from your perspective, there is no hesitation. The black circle grows, the edge approaches, and then, quietly, gently, you cross it. The event horizon, the line beyond which no signal can return. From this point onward, your story will never be heard by the outside world. No message can escape. You are now a private traveler, drifting into the unknowable. Yet inside, everything continues. Your ship is calm. You are calm. The rules of physics still apply, but they bend in strange ways. Inside the event horizon, space and time swap roles. You are no longer falling through space toward the black hole. You are falling through time. You cannot turn around, not because your engines are weak, but because the concept of turning around has stopped making sense. Outside, stars are long gone. The last thing you saw, before crossing the horizon, was the light of the universe smeared into a bright ring. Now, even that has faded. There is only darkness, perfect, consuming, eternal. Yet inside your ship, time still ticks forward. Clocks still move. Your breath is steady, your thoughts are clear, and something strange happens. You feel elongated, not physically, yet not metaphorically either. Your perception of your body begins to stretch. At first, subtly, a tingling in your feet, then a pulling, a strange, silent tension. The gravity near the singularity is not just strong, it's uneven. Tidal forces begin to play their part. If you had fallen into a supermassive black hole, the kind at the center of galaxies, you might not feel this. Their event horizons are so vast that the tidal effects are spread out gently, but this black hole is stellar-sized, compact, sharp. Its pull is merciless. Your feet are closer to the singularity than your head. And so they fall faster, not by speed, but by the curvature of space-time. The stretching grows. In the literature, they call this spaghettification, a word that sounds almost humorous. But it is not funny now. It is majestic, terrible, inevitable. Your ship's sensors scream quietly into your logs. Gravity spikes, mass energy distorts. Space is no longer a flat sheet, it is a funnel, a chasm, a whirlpool of existence. Yet you are not torn apart. Not yet. The ship is holding. It was designed not to escape, but to tell the story for as long as it could. And you, inside, are still a witness, still thinking, still feeling. And what you feel is peace. The black hole is not violent from within, it is absolute. It is the ending of motion, the completion of falling. And in its presence, there is no more noise, no more questions, only the sensation of drawing inward, of narrowing down. You are being reduced, atom by atom, thought by thought, into the smallest version of yourself. You imagine, foolishly maybe, that you are approaching truth. The singularity is not a place, it is not a dot or a point, it is the edge of knowability, a place where all measurements break down, where the universe itself ends its equations. No time can pass there, no space can exist, and yet, you are going there. You wonder if time slows again. You wonder if, in your final moments, you'll live forever, suspended in the inward fall, never quite reaching the end. Or if the end will arrive in an instant, so fast you never knew it came. Your instruments fail, one by one. Radiation floods the cabin. Light bends inward impossibly. Geometry becomes meaningless. There is no up, no forward, only the single, inescapable path inward, and still falling. Not in the way gravity once pulled you toward a planet, but in a way that now escapes definition. Time no longer unfolds linearly. It curls, stretches, distorts. The clocks in your vessel have lost meaning, not because they've stopped, but because time itself is no longer universal. It is personal now, yours alone. The outside universe continues. Somewhere, light travels, stars ignite, planets orbit, but none of that can touch you anymore. You are sealed into this descent, into this singular path inward. And even though no signal will ever escape, your sensors still record. Perhaps, someday, someone will understand this data. Or perhaps it will simply fall with you, unread forever. You think back to Earth, not a specific memory, but the feeling of being under a sky, the idea of up and down, the warmth of the sun. Here, there is no warmth, no sky, only the curve of space itself pulling you in deeper, faster, more completely. Your ship creaks slightly, not from physical stress, but from the surreal strain of space-time warping around it. Outside your viewports, there is no horizon, only blackness, absolute and final. But occasionally, light from the accretion disk still echoes inward, refracted along twisted lines of space. It arrives smeared, delayed, fractured. The image of the universe bending itself into a ring, like a last glimpse through a warped lens. You are no longer in control, but oddly, that brings calm. There is no left, no right. Every path curves inward toward the singularity. This is not just a fall, it is a funnel of causality, a convergence of all trajectories. Everything that enters this realm is directed to one point, not spatially, but temporally. The singularity is not a destination in space. It is a moment in your future, one that cannot be avoided. The concept of space has already started to fade. You are moving through what physicists call time-like paths now, meaning every moment forward is a step closer in time, not location. Space no longer guides you, time does, and it pulls without mercy. And yet, you are still conscious, still aware. The human brain, for all its fragility, is still functioning, still witnessing. You feel the difference in gravity now, not as pain or violence, but as a steady stretch, a beautiful, ghostly elongation. Your feet feel subtly farther away than they should. Your perception of your body shifts. not distorted by light, distorted by time itself. Spaghettification is no longer theory. It is sensation. The atoms in your legs are experiencing slightly more gravity than the atoms in your chest. Every part of you is falling at a different rate, each obeying the local. You wonder if you are still falling as yourself, or if you've begun to dissolve, not just physically, but conceptually. What does identity mean when every part of you is traveling through a different angle of time, and still, you are not afraid, because beyond fear, beyond the silence and the void, lies something unexpected. Clarity. You are no longer within the normal universe. You are now inside something else. A domain where the rules we wrote in physics books can no longer hold. Here, particles behave differently. Light no longer travels in straight lines. Quantum fields flicker without guidance. Time moves forward, yes, but the direction forward is now toward the singularity, not away from it. You pass what should be the inner horizon, a boundary inside the black hole's event horizon. Theoretical, unconfirmed, but whispered about in equations and simulations. Inside this layer, strange things might happen. Some theories suggest chaos, others suggest order. But here, it just feels neutral, like the eye of a cosmic storm. Light begins to return strangely, not from the outside universe, but from inside the black hole itself. Reflections of energy trapped in orbit, swirling inward on paths so bent they seem almost frozen. It's beautiful, a sphere of looping glimmers, a final echo of reality. The singularity is still ahead. You cannot see it, you cannot hear it, but you feel its pull, not as motion, but as finality, as the inevitable center point of all this journey. And yet, something new begins. You start to feel something, not physically, but mentally, a shift in perception, like déjà vu stretched over time, as though your mind has begun to loop on itself, tracing ideas not in sequence, but in spirals. You remember things you never experienced. You see yourself, as if from far away, in orbit above the black hole, then inside it, then outside again. Time, it seems, is folding. Could it be that consciousness is not bound by time in the same way matter is? You wonder if this is death, or if it's something else entirely. Some physicists believe singularities end you. Others believe that perhaps, in some universe, they continue you. That what looks like an end in our space-time may be a doorway into another, a bridge, a tunnel, a rebirth. They call it a white hole, the theoretical opposite of a black hole. Instead of sucking matter in, it expels it. It could be that every black hole leads somewhere. Not here, not now, but elsewhere. You do not know, but you begin to feel acceleration now, not in speed, but in experience. Your memories flicker rapidly. Time rushes faster. Your thoughts run in overlapping layers, as if your mind is burning brighter, faster, in its final moments. You feel something approaching, not